Hey everybody, it's Randy from Happy Maple Nursery, coming at you again with another project here. We've got one of our older pomegranates. This pomegranate actually was bought when it was just a single main trunk, I guess, and a couple of shoots. And we've actually used this as our mother plant to create all of our other pomegranates that we have in our nursery. So it's kind of a special one for us. It's been growing in this terracotta pot for a little while. So we're going to give it a bit of an upgrade, switch it over to this handcrafted pot from a local potter here in the Cobden area, Michael Vlaming. It's pretty great. Check him out if you can at Little Creek Pottery. And so he made this for us. I think it really suits the rustic kind of bark that's starting to come in. It's kind of craggy, looks a little rough. So we got some of that mirrored in the pot here. And then nice contrast to the nice bright red flowers that we have on this pomegranate. You can see there's one started up there. So what we're going to do today is just pop it out of the pot, give it a bit of a root prune, and then pot it up in our new pot here. But before I do that, I'm actually going to take out the wires here. These are small wires that we had set. We're also going to check some of our general shape. I think our new front will be here, something kind of like that, and kind of work on our overall triangular shape while still developing the top. We want some escape shoots to grow here to try to thicken some of this. We have some pretty thick branches in here, so we may end up taking those off in the future if we have buds that are close, but that's a problem for another day. So today we're just focused on the repotting, taking out the wire, and seeing how it's doing. All right, so we've removed all of our old wire. Most of it looks like it's held its shape. Not doing too bad. I think we could maybe pull some of this up maybe, but for now, again, we're just gonna focus on our repotting. So let's pull this guy out of the pot, it's not tied in. And this is in a pretty organic medium. I am going to switch it to a very inorganic medium. Which will hopefully help this pomegranate, give it some more vigor, hoping to get some more fine feeder roots around the base, build our root base a little bit. This was when we first started messing around with trees many years ago. And we didn't really have available as much organic mixer. We didn't really figure out what was best for the tree at the time. So it did all right though. The pot was perfect for it. It breathes a lot. It's a terracotta pot, so they dry it really quick, which is what this tree likes. It likes really dry environments, we found. So we got decent root growth. It's definitely circling, so get rid of that. We're just going to work our roots here with our chopstick. Try to keep it in the tray. Just remove some of that old meat. So these trees are tropical. We bring them in when the weather gets cold. So it starts to drop below 16 to 18 degrees Celsius here in our country. In our region, and we bring them inside as a tropical during that time. We grow them under artificial lights, so they do quite well. We find that these trees tend to go through periods of boom and bust, and this tree is just starting to wake up again, so it's a decent time to repot it before we go into the more vigorous, longer days of the spring. But we've been meaning to repot this for a little while. It's been in this pot for quite a few years. See, it's got some long roots there. So we'll just keep working this back. See what we got for a root base here. Haven't really worked these roots too hard in the past. We've been basically working on the main structure. But now this year will be a good year. To tackle some of these. So we got some big ones here we're gonna have to deal with. So I don't want to take too much. Again, I like to be conservative, but I do want to see what's going on down here. And these pomegranates are very robust. We've had them where we've missed them or they've dried out in the hot summer and they will bounce back quite well. So very drought tolerant. I think their biggest risk is probably overwatering and root rot. They do like a really dry climate. I think they come from the Mediterranean. So they do prefer a dry climate. And so that's one reason why we're going to switch out of this primarily peat-based material into something that's much drier and breathes a lot more. So what we're going to put it into is about mostly turfus and pumice and perlite with a little bit of peat-based compost just to kind of feed the tree, keep the soil bacterium up, soil life, so it is happy. So got an interesting root out here off to the side. We could consider removing this. See, a lot of our roots dive straight down once we start to tease away some of this material. So this is where we're going to try to develop some of the finer roots. You can see we have a lot of thick, coarse roots here. If I just point these out, thick, coarse roots, which are not bad. We got kind of a gripping motion, which is not bad. I'm going to get rid of some of these here where they cross. Same with over here. We've got crossing roots that kind of originate from underneath. So we'll probably get rid of those. And we want to encourage this area to really ramify and get a lot of nice fine feeder roots in here so we can build a flat bottom. So now that we've teased away and we can see our roots, we're going to move on to the next stage. Which is pruning the roots. So I'm going to start fairly aggressively, just kind of cutting it out here, giving it a good trim. I don't want to take too much off, but I do want to address any turns or depth that won't ultimately help our Nursery. Got a root coming back, we'll get right over. We got this root coming down, which is going to come off. Got this one coming in from in there, so that's okay. We'll trim this one up a little more. Trim that big one. See these long guys. Coming down. Let's try to free that up so you can see we got some really long ones. Kind of all over the place. So we got some roots here. We got this one coming up from underneath. So I think I want to get rid of that. Get rid of this. Turn that up. And I think that's about it. We'll just give it a quick haircut here. Now we're going to look for any crossing roots, which we have a fair amount. I wonder if we can move this over. This one that cuts across the tree. That one that cuts across the tree as well. We'll leave those. Shorten that. Trim that, trim that, trim that. I think that's as far as we'll go. That's pretty aggressive. We hope to build more roots in this direction, so hopefully this one will kind of fill this gap and get kind of large. And hopefully we can work on that root spread a little bit. Just trying to look at our potential front, which was somewhere up here. I think we had it leaning. We're going to straighten it a bit. We'll see. You know, you can always come back and change it as time goes on. All right, so next up, I'm going to go and mist that. And I'm also going to go and grab a screen for this. Just pour this out so we can actually work in the pot. And grab a screen to cover our drainage holes in the bottom. So we've got some screen. This is just simply some plastic door screen. You can find it at any hardware store. And we just find it works really well. You can cut it to shape, cheap, readily available. So we just throw that in the bottom. We're going to fill it up with some medium, place our tree in it, tie our tree in, and that'll be it. Give it a good water. Next thing is just getting the tie wires, which I will do next. I'm going to use a fairly light wire, just because it is a small tree. So our wires are in, screen's down. Now it's time to fill up the pot. So again, like I said, we've got a mix of perlite, turfus, a little bit of pumice, just kind of whatever we have lying around. So those are our inorganic materials. Got a bit of bark that's in here, but primarily the organic component to hold a little bit of water and feed the tree is just a peat-based compost. We're experimenting with using worm castings, peat-based worm casting compost, which works really well. Trees seem to respond to it really well, so that's what we're going to be putting with most of our trees going forward. We're just going to put some of that in there, mound that up for the middle of the tree, and then work on our placement. I think the front of the tree is somewhere over here. Now, this tree is a little awkward because it does have a lot of roots and it's not really super flat, so we'll try to mound this up, and I might actually have to go grab more medium. Yeah, so I'll have to grab some more medium and just top this up. I'm gonna plant it a little high. I'm just going to fasten the wires here quickly just to kind of hold it in place, and then I'm going to go grab some more medium and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just going to tighten some of these wires down, just kind of hold it in place. So these wires are up a little high, but that's okay. We'll just cut those off. Old pair of scissors. Wouldn't do that with a new pair. You'll definitely dull them. Get those out of the way. So our front will be somewhere here. Trunk line kind of going, I think we want it leaning over a little more, but you know, maybe we'll have to change that in the future. Just so I can reposition. It's just really hard with the root base that we have going. Kind of like that. It's not too bad. So next thing I'll do is I'll try to top this up. Some of this fine material and just kind of tuck it into that area. We're going to plant the tree a little higher and hopefully get some roots around the base. While also working on our root spread. In fact, we could have tucked some sphagnum moss around the base of that, but this really open arid medium will also be a real big boom. So that's our tree. Next thing we'll do is water that, and that'll be it for it. That's our final product. Something with the front about there. So we'll give that a water just from the bottom up, just by placing it in a tray, and that'll be it. We'll let it grow. For now, you can see that there's some growing tips on there just starting to wake up, so a decent time to repot it. Maybe it would have been better to catch a little early, but we're not quite in a really strong growing period yet. So we'll get this situated. It should have time to settle in a little bit, and then it'll hopefully be spring, which we can give it a good trim back and stimulate new growth right in time for our really strong spring summer with all that beautiful outdoor time that it'll have. So that's it for now. If you liked our video, like and subscribe and follow us. We got a lot more videos like this. We'll continue to put them out. So that's all for now. Goodbye.